she told the jury she had attacked her, that he had attacked her, and she feared for her life. The prosecutors say she killed her husband because she wanted to raise their child.
Hi guys, welcome back to Neverwinter Nights 1. We're doing the first campaign,
Now, some have dubbed this as the Black Swan murder.
The Wailing Death.
Defendant's background in ballet. 54-year-old Doug Benefield, a GOP donor, wealthy tech consultant, and Navy veteran, met the 24-year-old ballerina at a campaign event back in 2016, and things moved fast from there. The two got married just 13 days later. The following year, she moved from South Carolina to Florida to live with her mother while she was pregnant with his daughter. She also fought for sole custody of their child. Ashley claimed Doug abused her and accused him of poisoning her while she was pregnant. However, a judge who oversaw their custody hearings at the time said Ashley did not provide evidence of this, and Doug was granted visitation rights to see their daughter. Eventually, they agreed to move to Maryland together. On Friday, Ashley testified that as they were packing for the move, Doug attacked her, and she says she shot and killed him in self-defense. Her attorneys described him as a violent abuser. The former ballerina claimed she had been living in a nightmare. She said Doug had fits of rage and would yell, curse, and break things and come at her like he was going to hit her. Advocates for domestic abuse survivors showed support for Ashley by marching around the courthouse.
We really are standing for Ashley. We have a group of domestic violence survivors that are standing with us, and we really just want to see justice prevail. Like I said before, it cares a lot about people, and again, it's just not the monster that they made her out to be.
However, prosecutors argue that detectives found no evidence that Ashley was acting in self-defense when she shot and killed Doug in September of 2020. They say she killed him to get sole custody of their daughter. They say she wanted to be a single mother and went as far as withholding news of their child's birth from Doug. They say her abuse claims were made in an attempt to get sole custody of their child. And Doug's cousin describes him as a good guy who was under the impression he would be living with Ashley in Maryland, even though she allegedly told a psychologist that she did not want him to go. The psychologist's findings and evaluations of both Doug and Ashley were set to be released in a court hearing 3 days after Doug was killed.
It's very, very clear in the testimony and the evidence, including the previous hearings, that she basically had to shoot him because she thought she was going to lose the child to him the following week.
Prosecutors rested their case last week. Now the defense is presenting evidence and testimony to try and prove that the former ballerina is innocent. Arbel?
All right, Christina Coleman, thank you very much for that report.
Okay, this is... I think this is from Mages. Here he is. The Druid.
Today, boost type protein, complete nutrition you need without the stuff you don't. So, use Chimera.
Did you know Slim is your favorite newspaper price for just $40 a month?
My favorite news for just $40 a month?
My favorite news for just $40 a month? News for $40 a month. Hey, lets you do that. Diabetes can serve up a lot of questions. Like, what is your glucose, and can you have more carbs? Before you decide. With the Freestyle Libre 3 system, know your glucose and where it's going. No finger sticks needed. Now the world's smallest and thinnest sensor sends your glucose levels directly to your smartphone. Manage your diabetes with more confidence and lower your A1C, the #1 CGM prescribed in the U.S. Try for free at freestylelibre.us.
I'm Shalane, and I lost 75 pounds with Go-Lo. I went from a size 20 to a size 6. Before Go-Lo, nothing seemed to work. I was exercising for over an hour every day. It was really discouraging. The Go-Lo is so easy, the weight just falls off.
The best things in life come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 thumbs up. And now, buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, 2 months free. All with fast, reliable, nationwide coverage. Make the switch today.
drops at 6 cents. Catch up the actual campaign trail. Jesse's demo is on prime time. NetCredit is here to say yes. Even when other lenders won't.
Okay.
In the Caribbean, is it going to be heavy there? Here on the 7 o'clock slide, the forecast. Hey, Adam.
Hey there, Eric. Big maybe as far as that question goes. That's going to be the main concern here. Will that happen, guys? I mean, max 17, but this is the area we're tracking. That X moving out into this area. Now, you see the next 2 days, that's a 0% chance. But over the next 7 days, we're looking at a 40% chance. What does that 40% ultimately say? Well, it's saying that once we get out into that area, right, so we've got this little area of disturbance. Once this runs out into this area, there's a 40% chance of where that would fire up. So this is not actually a forecast track. This is an area where potentially we could see some sort of tropical disturbance the next week, not in the next couple of days. What is going to possibly stop that? You're out with me here for just a minute. What you're looking at here is dust off the Saharan desert. This actually gets in the way of tropical development. So we're picking up that dust, it's running out across the tropics. That slows us down. That stops storms from happening. But if we track something far up here and you see it beginning to run off a little further towards the west, you do start to run into areas where you're going to clear off a little bit. That could be what happens here. So we have this little area. It starts to get away from some of that dust. That's when we start to see a potential. The water is really warm here. We see this storm move out here. This is still a good week away, right? But it's something to pay attention to. And Eric, historically, it's the middle of August that we start to really see this season pick up. So plenty of time to be paying attention here in the next couple of weeks.
All right, we'll see about that. Adam, Greg, it's such a great trip. See how Adam just popped up? He's there to... Oh.
You know, I noticed that. I like that. John Scott is coming up on the track. It takes healthy joints to be a co-pilot. And a trusty coworker. Give your dog Consequin, a daily supplement for joint health support in dogs of all sizes. For your co-everything, choose Consequin. Good morning. Good dog relax. Good morning. Yeah. Try dog relax chewy group light for fast digestion constipation relief in as little as 30 minutes, making your good morning even better with dog relax.
When I started My Pillow, it was just a problem solution, one-party company. Well, since then, with the help of my dedicated employees, we now have hundreds of products, some you might not even know about. To get the word out, we're having a $25 extravaganza. 2-pack multi-use My Pillows, $25. Our 6-pack, you guessed it, just $25. Our brand new 4-pack 2000, $25. And I've never done this before. Premium My Pillows with all new pieces of fabric, any size, any body level, even king size for only $25. And there's so much more. So go to mypillow.com and call the number on your screen. Use your promo code for our $25 extravaganza. Order $75 and over, your entire order ships absolutely free.
My independence is everything to me. When I could no longer hear on the phone, clear captions saved me. My clear captions phone shows what the caller is saying live as they say it, allowing me to fully understand the conversation and respond immediately.
Your appointment is on Tuesday at 2 p.m.
Thank you, dear. My doctor, bank, pharmacy, my friends and family. There are so many people that I need to be in touch with regularly. And in captions has allowed me to do it independently.
If you have hearing loss, you may qualify. Call now. Installation, training, and the clear caption service are all provided at no cost to you. There is no insurance or Medicare required. Call today. 1-800-916-7705. That's 800-916-7705.
Fuck.
When it comes to losing weight, everything you need, everything you want, everything in one place.
Fuck off.
New Nutrisystem Complete. It's the complete package that you asked for and Nutrisystem delivered. With everything you need to lose weight and get healthy, like the millions before you, at one low price. You get the easy-to-use menu, all the live coaching you need, and the best part of losing weight with Nutrisystem, the food. Call or go online to find out more about the new Nutrisystem Complete. When your home needs work, where do you go? Angie?
That's where Angie came in.
With Angie, find top-rated certified pros in your area, plus compare quotes and pricing to help you get all your jobs done well. Find top-rated certified pros in your area at Angie.com.
One of my favorite supplements is Qunol Turmeric. Turmeric helps with healthy joints and inflammation support, and Qunol has the #1 doctor-recommended form of turmeric. Qunol, the brand I trust.
Hello, America. Mark Levine, and this is Life, Liberty, and Levine Saturday with two great guests this evening, Stephen Miller and Douglas Murray, and I can't wait, but we have to wait, because I have something to say about Kamala Harris. Well, the corrupt media that threw Joe Biden out, that stole the election from the primary voters, 14 million of them, that now has installed, apparently, the putative Democrat nominee, Kamala Harris, is now telling us she's unbelievable. She was the greatest prosecutor in history. Oh, she was never border czar, despite the fact the border is fantastic. She was never border czar. And don't mention her sex and don't mention her race. Only she can mention her sex and race. And you know her husband's Jewish? Oh, I didn't. Does that matter? I'm Jewish too. No, you don't understand. And she's ready to debate Donald Trump, and he's backing out of it. And okay, slow. See, damnable propaganda, Al Jazeera, fraudulent media, has brought us to this point. God wants you to believe them again. Kamala Harris has never received a single vote from anybody for President of the United States, but she's ready to debate. No, she's not. She's a coward. Well, what do you mean? They're handing her the Democrat nomination. They don't want any competition, none whatsoever. We even saw Margaret Brennan over at CBS News make the warning. You can't challenge her. She's a black woman. Can you imagine a white man challenging her? The party won't stand for it. Whatever the reason, always superficial. Kamala's to be not challenged, not to have an open primary, not to have a debate. She's to be friendly. And then she says, I want to debate with Donald Trump. He's backing out. Why don't you debate for the nomination, Kamala? You're such a fraud and a phony, it's beyond belief. We know why. You know why, don't we? You know, you've been vice president for almost 4 years. And you're pathetic vice president. Nobody could think of a single major thing you've ever done. Seriously. Not a single profundity fact you did. For your word salads, not tonight. The only issue you seem to care about, you travel all over the country about it, is abortion. Abortion. Well, it's very interesting. We have more abortions today than we've ever had since before the Dobbs decision. That is, the Dobbs decision allowed the states to make a decision I mean, really thought blue states would hit the ground running when it comes to abortion. And Kamala doesn't think there's enough abortion. But I want to talk about Kamala in another way. She's the great top prosecutor. And she's gonna contract herself with a convicted felon. Oh, really? Oh, yeah, the great top prosecutor. Where's the list of the cases that Kamala Harris personally prosecuted as San Francisco District Attorney and California Attorney General? At the trial level or appellate level? I want to see the cases, I want to see their names, I want to look them up so I can present them to you, the American people, and we go through what a great prosecutor Kamala Harris really was. I'm not asking you what office she held. I am asking you if she's a great prosecutor. What did she personally litigate? What personal trials did she handle? How hard is that? Maybe there's 1,000 of them. Maybe she's unbelievable. Maybe she's the greatest prosecutor since sliced bread, as they're presenting. And as Kamala said, look at me. Well, Kamala, let me ask you a question. As Vice President of the United States, tell me, how many people have been prosecuted for talking about exterminating the Jews on your watch? I'm just curious. How many people have been prosecuted by your friends, the Soros prosecutors, for violently attacking Jews in the streets, preventing them from going to schools and college campuses, or getting in their faces, and doing all kinds of other things? And tell me, Kamala Harris, how many of those students have you stood up for as Vice President of the United States? How many speeches have you given denouncing what took place in the streets? I know you gave one, and you gave one because your back was against the wall, because one of these students, during one of your great speeches at one of our college campuses, I think it was at George Mason, basically, talked about how the Jews are committing all these horrific genocidal acts, and your response was, this is why we have a democracy, so we can exercise our First Amendment right. People were so disgusted by it. Then you want the anti-defamation league, the ADL, which is run by a former Obama appointee, gave this speech against anti-Semitism. You only do what you feel you have to do politically, don't you? So, I mean, how many under our student visa program, how many of these people under the Harris-Biden administration have been deported? Any? No, I don't think so, but if they have, you haven't said a damn thing about it. No, we don't really know where you stand on Israel. You say enough for the liberals. For the liberals, I stand with Israel. You wouldn't even stand, you wouldn't even sit in your seat as president of the Senate when Benjamin Netanyahu gave a speech. That is grotesque. You sent a message to all the River to the Sea crowd, to all the Hitler youth. You gave a message to the anti-Semites, to the terrorists all over the world. But you don't stand with this. I stand with Israel, just not with Netanyahu. Oh, okay. Did Netanyahu get up there and say, I stand with the United States, just not with Biden and Kamala Harris? That's a little too clever. You sent a message that impels the lives of the hostages who haven't been murdered. You sent a message to Hamas and Hezbollah and to Iran and the Houthis to keep up the fight. Because you're not going to sit there while Benjamin Netanyahu speaks. That is grotesque. Oh, your husband Jewish? Well, I'm Jewish too. And there's a lot of us who are Jewish who are disgusted with this administration, and you in particular. Oh, he's Jewish. Well, let me use this word. It's called Yiddish. He's a Nevish. You know what a Nevish is? Look it up. Now, Harris has given unequivocal support to Ukraine, but she has relentlessly berated Israel with blood libels about Gaza and the humanitarian situation in Gaza. She even did it after Benjamin Netanyahu met with her, left, and then she gave her little speech. She didn't condemn Hamas. She never talks about the leader of Hamas. She never condemns Qatar, which protects the leaders of Hamas. Never, ever. She never condemns Xi, the communist leader of China, for what's going on with the Uyghurs, does she? Never, ever. I can go through the whole list. She saves her hate for the Jewish state. For the Jewish state. In February, she pledged to reward the Palestinians.
We're going to need him.
Support Hamas by 85% and more. For the state, their own state. There can't be peace without their own state. So she wants Israel to give up Judea and Samaria, 30% of its country, to the peaceful Palestinians. Who are they? Oh, it's Hamas. It's Fatah. Really? They just united with Hamas. And they united with Hamas under the tutelage of Xi and communist China. So Israel should give up its territory signatory to the PLO, which is now aligned and always has been with Hamas and not communist China. That's a pretty dumb vice president, if you ask me. She's demanding a ceasefire. Well, let's go to the beginning. A ceasefire. Who demands a ceasefire when you've been attacked? There was a ceasefire. These are terrorists and hostages. They want to kill more. Their leaders say they want to kill more. They went on October 7th every day. They say they want to kill us. And she says there needs to be a ceasefire. With who? No, Israel needs to win. Her national security advisor is a guy by the name of Philip Gordon. Look him up. Big. Obama, big. And the nuclear deal that's going to give Iran nuclear weapons. That's who she's going to want as her Secretary of State. He's an Iranian sympathizer and a virulent opponent of the Israeli government. She said little about the horrendous anti-Semitism in our country. Again, only rarely, only when she feels she has to. That's it. Our enemies are rooting for her. You think they want Donald Trump? Where are the great speeches from Kamala Harris on Israel, on anti-Semitism? Look them up. You won't find them. You'll see a speech. That's it. Where are the demands from her, from the Zoro's prosecutors to go after these people? There's none. And by the way, you're going to run Kamala on you're the tough prosecutor. You prosecute crap. So I want to see the cases against the convicted felon. That's right. So the Democrats set up Trump with their Soros prosecutor and their Biden judge. And we said they would run on it. That's what they want to do. So what Kamala Harris is saying to all of you, that she does not believe in the First Amendment, the Fourth, the Fifth, the Sixth, the 14th Amendment. Soviet-style justice for convicted felon. Just the way she's going to get this nomination in a Soviet-style system, without a debate, without a challenge, without anything. Well, let's look a little bit more deeply at the great prosecutor and her record. I noticed the leader having trouble figuring out who's fitness, because on the one hand, she wants to be known as the top prosecutor, on the other hand, she wants to be known as the progressive prosecutor. She's been both. She's politicized her offices as DA and Attorney General. And I wonder what those 1,500 people think were prosecuted. She threw the book at them who used marijuana. Oh, wow, she's for legalizing. I think she could do something about it. She's throwing them in jail. Gee, I wonder about that. AP a while back, we'll call it 5 years ago, they wrote a piece called Victims Question Kamala Harris's Record on Clergy Abuse. George Piscatelli was angry when Kamala Harris emerged as a contender for the Democratic presidential nomination. It brought back the frustration he felt in the 2000s when he was a newly minted spokesman for clergy sex abuse victims that Harris was San Francisco's district attorney. Here's the top prosecutor. Piscatelli says Harris never responded to him when he wrote to tell her that a priest who had molested him was still in ministry in a local Catholic cathedral. And he says she didn't reply 5 years later when he wrote again, urging her to release records on accused clergy to help other alleged victims who were filing lawsuits. She did nothing, he said. Today, the Northern California spokesman for SNAP, the Survivors Network of those abused by priests. This piece is 5 years old. Survivors of clergy abuse and their attorneys say that Harris's record on fighting sex abuse within the Catholic Church is relevant. As the U.S. Senator from California campaigns for the presidency, as a top crime ex-prosecutor who got her start prosecuting child sexual abuse cases, they complain that Harris was consistently silent on the Catholic Church's abuse scandal, first as DA in San Francisco, later as California's Attorney General. He goes on. Catholics make up large voting blocks in the city and the state, accounting for roughly a quarter of the population of both San Francisco's metro and across California. There's a potential political risk if you move aggressively against the church, said Michael Meadows, a Bay Area attorney.
I guess warm out of the know.
It goes on. After Harris took office as DA in 2004, attorneys representing abuse survivors in civil cases asked her office to release church records on abuse of priests that had been gathered by her predecessor, Terrence Hallinan. Harris refused. The decision her office said was intended to protect the identities of clergy abuse victims. It's virtually impossible to release records without compromising their identity. Victims and their attorneys scoffed at the explanation. The victims wanted the records, you see, contending it would be a simple matter to avoid identifying the victims. What she was saying was utter nonsense, said Meadows, the Bay Area attorney. All she had to do was redact any identifying information. Victims' lawyers said Harris's office also resisted informal requests to help them with their cases at a time when other DAs or their staff members were making themselves available. And it goes on. It is a damning article. It is a damning article about how Kamala Harris's office let these pedophiles go. Wouldn't charge them, wouldn't give the information to the victims in civil cases. So this is the tough prosecutor. The tough prosecutor won't go after terrorists in our country dressed up as protesters, paid for by Iran and Hamas and others to go through our streets, burn our flags, raise the Palestinian flag, and attack Jews and Jewish synagogues. Oh, she'll put out a statement here and there when it's actually, oh, what do you mean? She said this 3 years ago. Oh, what do you mean? She said this yesterday. She's not done a damn thing. She didn't do a damn thing to go after these priest pedophiles either. Not a damn thing. She went after kids who were smoking marijuana. She got 2 propositions that have led to the massive amount of crime that's going on throughout the cities in California. Blue City cops say Kamala Harris, some killers and rapists, weren't a disaster if she becomes president from a few days ago. Her record of backing bail fund for Black Lives Matter convicted protesters is at the forefront of law enforcement minds. She attempts to paint herself as law and order candidate. And so you have police groups in California, San Francisco, others all over the country pointing to her record. The tough prosecutor. And she was tough on the border. Not me. I wasn't the border czar. But she likes Brad, who used Soviet-style tactics against the former president, who gave her a tagline. And she's ready to debate just not for the nomination. No, she wants a coronation. Then she's ready to go. She is a disaster. And I will do everything I can, as an American, as a Jewish American, to stop her from becoming president of the United States for the sake of free people everywhere. We'll be right back.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettit. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling with homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. 2 years ago, I was on Fox News, the commercials with Frank, and just really had a pull on my heart to just start, trying to help this foundation. And then it's just something, if you're an American, I just feel like, how can you not get behind it, and he's just done a great job. It's just been awesome being involved with him. All the funds are going to everything that T2T is going, to the military families, whether it's building homes for them, the first responders. He's making a strong push to try to help the homeless around the country. And so I know they're buying hotels up in a lot of the major cities, and they're going to be down in Houston on November 9th, opening up a new facility down there that we've done. And so just a lot of great things going on. So that's what all this money, I believe, is being raised today is going to. It's just their ultimate goal. Public service people have always had a soft spot in my heart. My dad was a police officer in Baton Rouge. And then when I was with the Yankees, when I was playing, I tried to do stuff for our wounded warriors. And so it just always had a spot in my heart. And so, like I said, I can't believe I spent so many years without even hearing or knowing about Tunnel to Towers Foundation. A couple of years ago, I first saw it. And when I did, I immediately was like, I got to get involved in this. And so it's been a big success so far. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
When you can't watch, listen. Get the latest news, business, and news headlines on SiriusXM. Anytime, anywhere. Fox News Audio on SiriusXM. America is listening.
I got this $1,000 camera for only $41 on DealDash.com.
So I was able to relate and find someone right within. Thanks to the support of United Way, I'm able to achieve my dreams and become a doctor.
Another night in with your best friend. Maybe watching the game or just enjoying some
Please remember that impaired driving is both dangerous and illegal. Without heading in, you should book a ride, call a cab, or take public transit. And if you decide to stay in after all, well, maybe it's because best friends don't let best friends drink and drive. Thanks for helping keep our roads safe. Arrive alive. Drive safer.
This is a very special place. Very special organs here. I'd like to welcome here, very free. Our friend Stephen Miller, who is the founder of American First Legal, great organization, which my wife is involved. We're more transparent, you'll see, than Kamala Harris over here. Anyway, Stephen Miller, here we have Fox. Liberal media claims Kamala Harris was never borders are contradicting their own reporting. Other news organizations that said she was, Time Magazine, USA Today, the New York Times, the New York Daily News, Newsweek, Politico, Axios, now they say she wasn't. Only a bright scoop garbage media gets egg on their faces when they try to prune the right of her calling Kamala border czar. New York Post media suddenly changed its tune on calling Kamala Harris the border czar despite giving her the title. I think we should call her Kamala Harris the border czar whenever we're speaking. She was the border czar. It's a disaster. Isn't that her problem?
Yes, Czar Harris is her title. It was her sole responsibility as vice president. In other words, the only actual public duty she was assigned as vice president, talk about campaign work, was border czar. We all saw the press event where Joe Biden, wearing a mask, sitting around that table, put her in charge of the border. You all remember that they sent Kamala Harris abroad to meet with foreign leaders, ostensibly on paper, to try to stem the flow of illegal immigration, but of course now we know it was to accelerate and expand the flow of illegal immigration. Article after article after article correctly described in real time that the most important domestic policy portfolio
Peninsula.
from Joe Biden to Kamala Harris. And now they're saying, well, she was only meant to address the root causes. The root cause is the crisis. That's not even a defense. The root cause is the magnet of catch and release that occurred when Joe Biden and Kamala Harris terminated every Trump border security policy. So every time she blattered on for months and months and months, you need to remember this, but the root causes of illegal immigration. That was the Biden-Harris policy of the settlement when they terminated all of the Trump repatriation and removal policies. There's no citizen in this republic who bears more personal, individual responsibility for the border invasion that has taken place these last nearly 4 years than Vice President Harris.
The Vice President Harris likes to talk up the fact that her supporters do her media do, her race, and the fact that she's a woman. Okay, let's embrace that. I agree. She's black and she's a woman. Tell me, how many black and brown women on the border have been sold into slavery, have been sold into sex slavery, have been raped, have been otherwise brutalized on the border, despite the fact that she was the border czar, and despite the fact that she was Vice President of the United States and never said a damn thing about it? How many? Do we know? Are you keeping numbers?
This is the civil rights issue in the world today. The mass trafficking of women and children from all over the globe, as you point out. Of course, they're going to be predominantly individuals who are going to be black and brown, who are being trafficked across the southern border. This is heartbreaking. This is soul-crushing. And again, she is the individual who is responsible for this human smuggling and human trafficking catastrophe. And then, of course, on the receiving end, what communities are bearing the brunt of the border invasion? It's, of course, the whole country, the whole working class, the whole middle class. But disproportionately, we know from years and years of data on the impacts of illegal immigration. Latino American communities, and Black communities. This is firmly established in the data about the social, economic, public service impacts of large, unskilled, vast, illegal migration. So in every sense, she is sabotaging the interests of American citizens in general, and Black and Latino citizens in particular.
She claims to be concerned about people. She talks about Gaza and so forth. Why doesn't she talk about the United States? Under her watch as border czar, or at least vice president, more than 85,000 young people have gone missing in this country. Where are they? Don't we go right past Kamala Harris? What have you done about it? Where are those children?
Remember, Mark, the precipitating event, going back to your first question, for her appointment as border czar was the unprecedented flood of what's known as unaccompanied alien children, UAC, at the southern border, which basically means illegal aliens who are 17 and younger who are ostensibly traveling alone. When the Biden administration came in, and they began to immediately lift all of the Trump border policies, the cartels, in turn, began pushing the most lucrative, financially lucrative form of illegal immigration, which is child smuggling and child trafficking. So again, if you remember, those numbers...
Okay, we're going to save it here.
The shelters were overwhelmed. What did the Biden administration do under border czar Harris? Instead of repatriating those minors through a safe and orderly process back to their home countries and families, they